Carl here from Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life doing an album review for Grimgotts' new release. May 7th, 2021 sees the release of the UK power metal band new album Tales, Sagas and Legends, with a CD release coming from Stormspell Records. Now 2020 was actually a year for Grimgotts, releasing 3 excellent EPs in Tales, Sagas and Legends. The momentum is there, and the building of the power metal band now bring us all 3 EPs as one complete album, which would be enough to already make this a must listen. However, to make this release so much sweeter, Grimgotts have remastered all 3 EPs and thrown in a few new tracks too. Now we've been keeping tabs on Grimgotts over the last 2 years and loved the 3 EPs that were released throughout 2020. You can go check out those individual reviews over on the website right now. We have one for each EP. So we are talking about the whole album with those tracks now. It's a great reason to revisit the tracks that appeared on those EPs, freshened up in most cases, and as bombastic as ever. Tales' 4 offerings get an airing first, with the gargantuan call to the arms, let us fight till the end, and the epic energy of For the Power, beginning things in style. For the Power is one of my favourite Grimgotts songs overall. Both tracks sound fantastic, and are both blood-pumping efforts, which is again Grimgotts overall, blood-pumping, fist in the air stuff. Whereas we then get the Dawnbringer, it's a more of a heavy metal headbanger, and that's quite nice and different at this stage. Rain and Might, Power Metal 101, but done really, really well. We love these tracks back in May 2020 and they're just as awesome now. August 2020 gave us Sagas, the second part of this album. It was just as great as the previous release, and it's the next 4 tracks here. Northern Passage, well, I just love the guitar solo. Rise Again, which has such an incredible chorus. Plunder, Loot and Chantery, which is just fun and kind of bouncy. And of course the title track, which is epic and huge. The variety in this particular section on show here, it's firmly rooted in the power metal side of things, but it's so grand. It's an incredible segment for the album. The next 4 tracks all come from the final EP and include some of Grimgotts' best work to date. Whereas the first 2 EPs were 9 out of 10 releases, the last one was a 10 out of 10. That perfect score is still deserved as we kick into the raucous jig that is the Boys of Boone. Catchy melody, tons of energy. It is such a great song, which makes the following heavier slab of metal, that is Land of Tomorrow, a surprise, but one that is more than welcome. You know, the power metal aspect of Grimgotts is front and center most of the time, but when you get these just chunky, smash mouth headbangers, they're few and far between, so they're always really welcome. It's got much more meat to it, but it is still undoubtedly Grimgotts. You only need to hear the chorus here to understand that. To the edge of the world, to what lies beyond, is a sweet and catchy shift from the neck-breaking noise, before Kinsman closes out the trilogy of EPs with one of Grimgotts' most bombastic sounding offerings. If this had been it, if that's all we'd got, the 3 EPs released as one complete album, even without the remastering, it would have been a spectacular release. One that we would be recommending to the high heavens that you hear. They really could have just done that and left most of us more than happy. Yet here we are, ready to talk about 3 more tracks, turning this album into a 15-track offering and basically making sure fans get even more bang for their buck, but also showing, look, this is where we're going next kind of thing. That was then, that was 2020, here's 2021. And the first of the new tracks is the thumping Fight Against the World, where the galloping energy takes off and refuses to slow down. Grimgotts lifting the soul as only their brand of feel-good and heartfelt power metal can possibly do. Raise a fist high into the air in support of this song. It is the legs though. Put the arms down because the legs are needed for the following Grimgotts calling, as this is a track that demands you move, a demand that is impossible to ignore thanks to the jiggy rhythm, powerful chorus and playful lyrical tone. This is a smile-inducing effort and par for the course for this band. They really are one of the UK's finest power metal bands. Think that's hyperbole? Don't believe it? Finish this wonderful album off with The Lost Chapter and you'll be convinced. Bombastic orchestral energy, epic vocals, and a perfect culmination of this journey. No excuses. Tales, Sagas and Legends is simply brilliant. And even though it's comprised of 3 EPs from 2020, it is an album released in 2021, which makes it a proper contender for Album of the Year. It is a phenomenal achievement. Very, very pleased for the band. This is one you have to check out if you're a fan of power metal, if you're a fan of British metal, if you're a fan of British power metal. Check out Grimgotts, Tales, Sagas and Legends. May 7th, 2021. Get on it. Let us know what you think of it in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?